Hey everybody, my name is Ian and welcome to From Beginner to Band, and today we're looking at how to learn guitar riffs in half the time. Now this has come up because a guitar student of mine is trying to learn the Pink Panther theme and wanted some feedback on how to progress and how to improve his timing. And I thought this was a great opportunity to feedback to him on how to learn the riff really effectively and also to share with you all this process. So this is called the ABC method. And this video really is not about the Pink Panther riff, it's actually about how to learn the riff. So once you've learned this method, you can apply it to any riff or anything that you are learning. So it's called the ABC method. What does that mean? It just means that you're going to learn A, then you're going to learn B, and put those two together, learn them really well, or be able to play them really well. Then you add on C, and then you play A, B, C. Make sure that's really secure. Then you add on D, then you play A, B, C, D, etc. Okay, so we're going to apply this to the Pink Panther riff, and hopefully I'm going to share with you some ideas that's going to help you learn something in half the time. Now you could apply this, you could think of an analogy of learning a script. You're an actor, you've got 10 pages to learn, and you've got to learn all these words, and common sense would tell you if you read from page 1 to page 10 and then go back to page 1 again, can you remember what the first line was? No. So in the same way as the guitar, most people would try and learn a riff from beginning to end, learn all the notes. You get back to the start and you can't remember what you did, or you might get halfway through and you've forgotten a note here or there. And it's the same idea. We've got to learn it step by step. And if you're learning your lines, you learn one line, second line, put those together, add on the next line, etc. And this is what we're going to do on the guitar. Okay, so as mentioned, it's not really about the Pink Panther riff, it's how to learn the riff. So where I put my fingers, you can do a different position. You can look at some tab on the internet, you can have a listen to the riff and see how you want to play it. But I'm just going to play it in this way. I think this is the easiest for me to remember. So what do we do first? So first of all, you look on the internet, you look on the tab, or you follow me with my fingers. And the first riff, the first part of the riff that we've got on the Pink Panther is 4 notes in a line. We've got, okay. So what we do is, if we're looking about the ABC method, you could say, well, we're looking at note 1, we're looking at note 2, or can I play those two? Yes. Add on the 3rd note. Can I play that okay? Yeah. Add on the 4th note. Can I play those 4 together? Yes, I can. Okay, so that's the first bit. That's pretty easy. We're going to spend more time looking at the actual melody of the riff. Now, just as a side note, technique, let's say we're doing this 4-note, this 4-finger start to the riff. We could play it down here. We could do that, couldn't we? We're going to play it here instead. And when we place our fingers on the notes like this, we want to create this sort of nice shape. So fingers are curved forwards, the thumb is at the back, in the middle. If you bring the thumb up like this, there's no way you're going to be able to stretch across the strings, okay? So thumb at the back, curved fingers, and we're going to get this nice shape and nice sound for the first 4 notes. Okay, so that's a little bit on the ABC method for those 4, but really we're going to look at the main riff. So the first 2 notes of the riff are, okay, and that's the 3rd finger at fret 6, string 5. Then the little finger goes to fret 7 on string 5. Okay. Again, you can look up a tab on the net and choose where you want to play the riff. But if you want to copy me, that's great. So we've learnt these 2 notes. The next 2 notes are here, which is fret 4, string 4, and fret 5, string 4 again. Okay, that's 1st finger, 2nd finger. So in our ABC method, we would learn a 3rd finger to little finger, and then be able to play 1st finger, 2nd finger. A really great thing I like to do is break up the left and right hand jobs. So again, if you're left-handed, just switch around everything that I'm saying. So my left-hand job is to play these two notes, then these two. So what I would do is just work on placing my left hand on these notes. Okay, that can be a really big help before I introduce a right hand and try and play those strings. Okay, again, when we learn something too quickly, we sort of rush through. We don't really know what our left and right hand are supposed to be doing. So in our ABC method, we'd learn these two notes, then these two. So we could class these as this is A, okay, and this is B. Okay, now remember, it's really important to get these things secure. Thinking back to the actor who's trying to learn the lines, don't go on until you know those first few lines really well. There's no point, because you're going to forget them. So let's just take time learning these first two notes. Look at the bigger picture. If it takes you a month to learn the Pink Panther riff and you can play it really well, that's fantastic. You've learned a great riff, a great melody in 1 month. If you do that every month, you've got 12 songs you can learn in 1 year. And chances are, as you progress, you'll be able to learn the last 6 months of the year. You could probably learn 2 or even 3 songs in those months. So by the end of the year rather, I can't do the maths, but you're going to have sort of between 12, 24, up to 30 songs you might know, and that's amazing. If you're just starting out on the guitar, or say you're an intermediate player, the more songs you can play from your memory, the better. Okay, so getting back to our method again, we've got A to B. Okay, like we say, we're going to get nice and secure with those first few notes. And then on the right hand, I'm just using my thumb to play the notes. You can use a plectrum if you want to. That's fine, but I'm just using my thumb. You can copy me if you want to. Okay. Now then, C is back to third finger, little finger. So we've got A, B, C so far. Okay, and we'd play that again until we're nice and secure. Okay, now I've got D. Okay, so here it's the same 2 frets as string 4. We go on to string 3 now, but we do it in reverse. So now we go fret 5 to fret 4. Okay, so I won't keep saying A, B, C, D because I'll lose count, but you get the idea. Okay, so make sure everything is secure until you move on and learn the next few notes. Okay. That's the next bit. Okay, so we've got, just follow my fingers here. Back to the start, then you go back to where you left off, first finger, fret 4 to fret 3. Okay, so that's the first part of the riff. So we could go on and on like this, adding on a note at a time or 2 notes at a time, and you build and build and build until you finally play the whole riff, until everything's really secure. So keep doing this process and you'll learn the guitar riff in half the time. Honestly, you will. But you'll learn it really securely. In a month's time, you'll still be able to remember it. In a year's time, you'll still be able to remember it because you learned it properly. Now, the next really cool tip is to play along with YouTube, because we can slow the song down, can't we? So really important is when you do your ABC method is that you play in time. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, another big mistake, not a mistake, but just, something that we all do. We try and learn things too quickly, and so we'd be going, oh, and you start adding in mistakes and errors, and you start learning those mistakes. If you've been playing the guitar, a few months, up to a year and you've been learning some riffs, you know from experience that you'll try and learn something too quickly. You'll start playing a note that's wrong, and you'll learn that note because you keep on going back to the wrong note all the time. It's because you haven't done the ABC method securely enough. Okay. Now, I could play some YouTube here. This is half speed. Okay, like I say, this is not a tutorial on how to play the Pink Panther riff. It's really a tutorial on how to learn something in half the time. So my big tip then is to play along with YouTube. That's at half speed. Then you can increase the speed to 0.75 and then try and play it at normal speed. There's no harm in, if you've got the first bit really well played, you could go half speed, 75%, and full speed just on this bit. Okay, you don't have to play all the way to the end at half speed. You could just play that little bit and see how you're going to progress, moving the speed up a little bit. Or if you're kind of more disciplined and more determined, you think, okay, right, I'm going to try and play the whole thing at half speed, then try that. Again, you can be your own sort of teacher in a way and just see what works for you. But this ABC method is a great way of learning a riff in half the time, learning it really securely, and then being really confident in the fact that you can play this really well. Okay, so that's it for this short lesson. I hope it's been useful. If you'd like to support the channel further, please subscribe below, comment, like and subscribe. Ring the bell for new notifications, and also I've got a free PDF or free link below. If you click that and subscribe to From Beginner to Band, you'll be notified of new videos coming out, and that'll be really helpful for me and help the channel grow further. Alright, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.